Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It is Monday the 4th of April and this is going out live on Facebook, and it will be available on replay on Facebook and also on YouTube. If you are joining us live, I'd love you to say hi and let me know that you're watching. It's always nice to know who has joined us live. Give you a shout out if you want one. And if you're watching on replay or on YouTube, then do let me know excuse me, if you have any queries or questions, then I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Just pop them in the comments and I will get back to you if an answer is required. And also to say thank you if you have joined us. This morning, as you can see, we're using this stamp set here called Daffodil Daydream. This is the latest of the daffodil stamp sets that are available from Stampin' Up. Hi Kerry, and good evening to you. I'm feeling okay actually. I had well, I was over my cough until I started talking. I did have some very possible COVID positive results from my tests, but a very faint line for 2 days and now nothing at all. So I don't know what's going on there. But luckily I have some good team members to step up, and the lovely Sam ran my coffee and card on Friday, and the lovely Scott is running our coffee and card for me today. So I'm really lucky to have team members who are willing to step in, and for Scott it's his first time, so I wish him all the best and I know he'll be awesome anyway. So we're going to be using Daffodil Daydream. I have got some water here, so I will take a sip in a second. We're going to be using this stamp set, and I'm going to show you how to get 2-for-1 cards. I'm using this oval die in my die cutting machine. Now sadly the ovals are retired, but you could use a circle or another shape that would work equally. And all I've done is I've taken a piece of our thin white card, popped the die in to cut out a central portion here, and I'm going to use this for one card and this as a mask for another. Let me show you the cards that we're going to create. So these are nice and simple. This is one where I've used the die cut leftovers, if you like, and I'm going to use my blending brush to sponge in an oval area and then stamp over that. And then all I've done on this one is added a little bit of yellow. You can actually leave this just completely as an outline. I think that would also work very nicely, especially maybe for a sympathy card. Morning Joanne. I'm so lucky, Kerry, I really am. So there's one there, and the other one is this one, which is using the actual oval itself. It's amazing how they look different sizes, isn't it? I stamped the other daffodil image, which is this one here, and I've also used this border to go around the edge just to frame it. And Daffodil Daydream has got this lovely little speckled area here, which I've used around the edge. I hope you can see that okay. This colour here is Pale Papaya, and this one is Daffodil Delight. Morning Sylvia, I hope you're well. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I've got 2 ink pads that I'm going to be using, Early Espresso for my stamping of the image, and Daffodil Delight that I'm going to be using for sponging of this area with my blending brush, but obviously you could use any oranges or yellows. And then for the daffodils, I'm using our blending brushes, and I've got blends pen, sorry, and I've got an assortment of greens and yellows. And this is all ready for our coffee and card that will take place this week. It would have been last Friday in today's coffee and card, but hey ho, there's always another opportunity. I've got some dimensionals to put behind this, and I've also got some different ribbons. I'm actually going to use some of my favourite ribbon. This one here is the gingham ribbon, and it's actually in Bumblebee, which is one of the retiring colours, but I do love gingham. I think quite a few of us do. Morning, Jeanette. So we're going to crack on and get these done. Now, one good thing about not being allowed out and about over the weekend was that I managed to complete our designs for this month's class in a box, and I'm really pleased with them. I'm going to show those in our VIP group straight after this session. So if you're one of my customers, then you can hop over to my Gemini Crafts VIP group and have a look, and then I will do a video later on my Gemini Crafts page. I do like my VIP customers to have a sneak preview to see what's happening, and I'm really pleased with the results, so I hope you are too. Right, let's get cracking. So for these cards, I've used our note cards and envelopes, and it doesn't really matter which one I do first. Let's do this sponged one first. So I've got my mask here. I'm going to grab a spare piece of paper, and I just need a note card layer to work on. Which I put sensibly somewhere else. Okay. So these are my note card layers. So this is thin basic white card, and that's cut to 3 inches by 4.5, and then the layer behind is 3.25 by 4 3/4. Okay, so the cat's going to walk across. Oh my goodness, that's not very helpful. Right, an extracted cat. Okay, so I want this to go centrally in here, and obviously I can't really see where I'm going other than I know it's going to be fairly central. This is reasonably central to my piece here, so what I'm going to do is just place this centrally on there. What I could do is do it and then cut this piece down. I'm hoping that that will do the job. Let's grab a little bit of washi tape and put it behind. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Here we are in April. Here we are on a Monday. I'm excited for tonight because I'm part of the joining the Stampin' Up on tour, which is an event for demonstrators this evening. There was one on Saturday, and I was just looking at that in the light. That's fine. It's slightly high, but it'll be fine. So yes, I'm attending on tour tonight, which is an evening of presentations and looking at the new catalogue and all the new products that are coming out. So this is Daffodil Delight. Has to be done really, doesn't it? Okay, I hope you can see those there. Yes, you can. So I'm just going to pick up some ink, test it on here so I can see how much I've got. Okay, I don't want it over inked, but equally I know if I've under inked it then I can apply more pressure. And a lot of that is down to how much pressure you apply on the brush and how much ink is actually in your ink pad. So there's quite a few variables there. And there's nothing to stop you doing this in an ombre effect, so you could go light to dark, dark to light, if you wanted to, or have multiple colours. So I'm just using, as you can see, a circular motion. Like this. I'm going to do that all the way around. And you could, as I say, highlight it. Oh, it's all right, I've got ink on there, that's okay. You could highlight an area. So have it lighter in the middle or have it darker in the middle. Obviously you want a reasonable amount along the edges so that you can see these edges here. Oh, is it your favourite colour, Daffodil Delight? I have to say I do like yellows as well myself. Okay, and I think I will do this because my daffodil is going to be fairly high up. I can do this fairly evenly all the way over. Oh, bless you, Joanne. Oh, chest infection. Oh, that's horrid. After 6 days coughing. I know, it's weird, isn't it? So I had this cough last week, and my son actually had a positive test for COVID. So I thought, oh well, it's inevitable that I will get it. So I stayed off work, and obviously stayed at home, tested every day, and there was a very faint line on Saturday and Friday afternoon, but when I tested this morning, no line at all. Who knows what's going on there? Oh, bless you. Yeah, that's a good idea. So Kerry loves Bumblebee, which is a retiring colour. So now is the time to stock up on any of your favourite colours that are retiring. And also any stamp sets, ribbon, embellishments, anything really. So you can check the retiring list on my website, or just do a search on the Stampin' Up website. Okay, that's enough of that for the minute. Okay, so I'm just going to peel this off here, and there we've got our oval. That looks so different. That's really weird, isn't it? But it's exactly the same piece and exactly the same oval, but it looks quite different. Maybe because it's not layered up yet. Okay. So now I'm going to add my set of daffodils. So in the stamp set there's two, one with 3 daffodils and one with 1 daffodil flower. Oh, bless you. Bless you, Joanne. And then you've got 2 sentiments. Mother's Day, obviously for us here in the UK, has gone. But obviously over in America that comes out in May. Then we've got Easter Blessings, and you've got this cute little butterfly as well. So I'm going to use this triple one here. And I do need quite a big block for it. This is block I. Just about on there. Hopefully it'll be alright. Okay, and obviously I'm going to stamp this in Early Espresso. just because. Okay, and I could do it at an angle and have my sentiment at the side, so I think I'll do that. Just have something slightly different. So I wonder what everybody's got lined up this week. I think I've chosen my lighter Early Espresso. Hopefully it will be all right. Let's move these out of the way. I think what I'm going to do is just stamp it slightly that way. I could, if I want to, stamp my greeting first to be sure that it was going to fit, but we'll go for it. Okay, so there's our daffodil stamped. So I say you could keep that absolutely uncoloured if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. Oh, morning Brenda. I hope you're well. Okay, let's pop an Easter blessings on there, but obviously you could use any sentiments, a birthday or a thinking of you. Yeah, that's just about going to fit. Grab that. I'm just stamping this off first because I haven't used this stamp before. Take my glasses off. And I've just got that on the bottom, sort of part way in, part way out, like so. Clean that one off. Okay. So what I can do with this is either leave it as is, or I can colour the whole thing in. And what I chose to do on this one was just colour in the flower heads. So let's have a look. This is Daffodil Delight Dark. So these are our blends pens. Like so. So I'm just doing a darker bit first, and then I'll add the lighter one. Here. And daffodil comes, daffodils here in the UK anyway, come in lots of different variations of colour. Some are quite pale, some are very deep. Let's have a little bit on here. Oh good, Brenda, I'm pleased to hear that. So I'm just using the lighter one. There. This is a very easy daffodil set to colour. There's not too much detail, and a lot of the shading is there already sort of in the stamp. And obviously it's helped because I've got the yellow behind it. You could use watercolour pencils. If you've got watercolour pencils, they would work, or other alcohol markers, or you could use Stampin' Up markers to an extent as well. Okay, so there we go. So this one is just going to get layered up really simply. I've got assorted layers. So I've got Mango Melody here. I wanted a darker one, which might look quite nice. And then that's going to go onto a note card. Put that on. Like so. So just centralising that on there. And this is going on our note card. So our note card and envelopes still available. You get 20 in a pack. Note cards which are scored, you do need to fold them, but they are scored, and envelopes, like so. And they're perfect for slightly smaller cards. They're great for beginners as well, because you haven't got such a big area to cover, so it's easier to fill, especially with something like this. And so they're thick cards, and they're the nice smooth envelopes. So there's my finished front card. I could stamp an element onto the envelope, so I'll just do that really quickly. And obviously you could colour in the green as well. I might add some green in, I'm not quite sure. Let's just pop the top of those in. Thank you for the hearts. It's always appreciated. So I'm just inking this top bit up. The darker does pop it better, you're quite right, Joanne. This is quite subtle in comparison, isn't it? Okay, so let's just pop this in the corner, like so. And I could also stamp that on the inside, or maybe I could even stamp just the single one on the inside, like so. And you can fill in with colour these ones here. What I recommend you do though, if you do that, is just put a piece of scrap paper, obviously not this one because it's got a hole in, just put a piece of scrap paper inside your envelope, like so, when you're colouring, so that it doesn't bleed through. It shouldn't do on these envelopes, but if you had a lot of very dark ink, it could bleed through. It's got to go through 2 layers, so it's got to go some, but if you wanted to colour that in, that would be a nice finishing touch. Oh, so this is Mango Melody, the background card. Daffodil Delight I've used for the sponging, Early Espresso for the ink, and Daffodil Delight for the shading of the flowers. Okay, so that's our first card. So that is using the template created by cutting out the oval. And then for our second card, I'm just going to use the oval itself, and I've done some stamping around the outside. Now this could be the background stamp that comes with the set, but you could also stamp the daffodils around the outside. So let's do this one. Okay, so there's my oval there, and I'm going to change up and use the other image for you, and I might add this little butterfly if I've got enough space, although I might not have. I probably have more space on this one. I could have stamped in the butterfly here, as that's going to fit on there nicely, whereas obviously we had space to go over the edge of this one. So let me swap these over. Pleasure, Joanne. Okay, just have a sip of my warm water. It was boiling to start with. Now it's just lukewarm. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one again in Early Espresso. I'm trying to think what other colours you could use. You could use black. You could use basic grey. I think that would also work. I probably wouldn't use a green, because you wouldn't want the outline of the daffodil to be green necessarily. Okay, I'm just going to turn this on its side to make it easier to stamp, and I can have the whole of that image in this time, like so. So this is an oval, as you can see, but you could use a circle, you could use a rectangle, you could use an interesting shape as well. It doesn't have to be as is. Let me just wipe that down. So this one I can do just some straight colouring of the leaves and the daffodil. Let's just grab a little bit of crumb cake for this, the sort of join in here, where it's the bottom of the bud. And then this one I use pale papaya with a little bit of daffodil. This one I'm going to use daffodil. So this is dark. Glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. And looking outside, it's been pouring with rain. We had some lovely weather over the weekend. Yeah, that's yellow. So sunshine alternating with the odd shower of snow, but it was nice and bright, and today is dull and wet. Okay, so a little bit in there. I'm going to keep the rest of this light, and let's put a bit of shading underneath here. I'll lift it up to the camera because I know you can't see it that far down. So that's the dark. This is the light. So just using a circular motion over that join, and I'm using the fine tip. That's usually my preferred one to use, unless I'm doing a large area. Okay, like so. And so they are really easy to colour in. As I say, if you've got, I think Stampin' Up markers, because it's quite a small area, you could do that with blends pens or just on their own. And then I'm going to use either Granny Apple Green or Old Olive. Granny Apple Green, I think. So I've got dark and light again. So there's my dark. And just using the darker colour where there might be a little bit of shadow and on the edges there. There we go. And then the light. So as I say, really easy to colour. You don't have to be too, you could just do it in one solid colour of green or yellow. This one's about to run out. This one is dated December 2018. So I think it's done its fair share. So I think that one needs to be retired out. So this will be our design for Coffee and Card this week in Brackley on Friday, all being well, and Toaster on Monday. There we go. Like so. Happy with that. So it's quite a nice sketchy but a good outline. Right, just going to swap the tops over. So I know that this is an older one. So on my tops have got the labels on, dark and light, and I keep those for the sort of the best of the current ones. Swap that over. There we go. I want a nice tight fit. Okay, so this is our design here. So I've started with my daffodil. I can add these little dots in. I've got some bumblebee ribbon to add in, so let's add some dots first. Oh, so the new catalogue is live to customers on the 3rd of May. So literally 4 weeks time. Demonstrators, we get to see it already, and I've got my copy in the house. Very excited. I really do like it. I say that every year, let's be honest, but I just think it's a good combination. Obviously we're sad to see some things retire, but I go on the basis if you wanted it, you would have got it already, or now is the time to get it. Okay, I've got Daffodil Delight I'm going to use for my dots here. So if you want to make sure you're on my catalogue list, then give me a shout and I'll make sure you are. If you've purchased from me in the last 6 months, you'll get one automatically. You'll be in my first sort of wave of catalogues to go out. Right, for this one I'm going to put my dots just across this top area, like so. Like that. These are very useful dots. If you've got a little blemish and you need to cover them up, this is perfect for that. Let me show you that so far. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pop this onto a layer. And on this one, I've used this edging here. So I'm going to do the same for this one. Let me grab my block. And choose a layer to go behind it. So let's have a look. I've got some Daffodil Delight and I've got some Granny Apple Green. Those are the two colours that are in there. Ooh. Let's have a look and see what it's like with the note card. Just going to pop it up in this corner. So there's one option with the green behind. And there's an option with daffodil behind. Quite like the green for a nice sort of spring look, and it sort of makes it stand out a little bit more, doesn't it, I think? So I'm going to go with the green. So that's Granny Apple Green. That coordinates with our green blends here. And I've got this stamp here. They're going to stamp all the way around, or I could just do top and bottom just for a slight change. I'm going to stamp this in Early Espresso. I'm going to take the ink pad to the stamp. This is quite a big stamp, and it's easy to miss a bit, or it's quite, you can't get it obviously in that section there. So if you're taking part of it, and let's do one on each side. Oh, top and bottom I said, because I've got a little bit more space there. So I'm just lining up the edge of the stamp. Like so. And I'll do the same on this one. It's almost slightly Art Deco, isn't it? So it's not angular enough really. And the same. Like that. There we go. Just to give it a little bit of interest behind. And then I'm going to add the ribbon. So let's layer this up to start with. Move my scrap of paper as well. Cover up my ink pads. It's going to go onto there. So Brenda, I think I announced this before you joined us, or before you said hello at least, so apologies if you've heard it, but I have designed the projects for our class in a box, and I'll be revealing those over in our VIP group just after our session here. There we go. This one I'm going to pop up on dimensionals. So you'll see it there first. Like so. And then ribbon, my favourite, although it's retiring, bumblebee ribbon. So I'm just going to create a bow out of that. Just using the two bunny ears crossed over. Sad to see this ribbon going. As I think I said before, I do like gingham ribbon. So I'm just manipulating this into the shape I want before I pull it tight. And that gives me that nice shape. More by luck than judgment. Scissors. Excuse me. Okay, so my bow can go onto there. It's going to have to go down there, isn't it, really? Like so. Looks a bit silly at the side, doesn't it? So I'm going to use a glue dot to pop that on, but you could use Tombow glue, that works equally fine. Oh, hi Tracy. Thank you, Jeanette. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so that, don't put it too far down, but I don't want it sort of midway too much. Let's pop those away. And there we go, that's our finished set of 2 cards using our 2 for 1. No, that's our finished set of 2 cards. I was looking at that thinking that was something wrong. So we've used the cutout oval remainder here with a blending brush to create that background there, and then stamped our daffodils on and added an Easter sentiment. And then we've used the cut out oval here, stamped the single daffodil, used that border stamp top and bottom just for something different, and added a sentiment. And then you can stamp your envelopes up. So this one is ready for this one here, and you could stamp a single daffodil on the inside, which is what I'll do, and I'll stamp the daffodil on there as well. Let's just do that little one on the inside. Now I put it away. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Joanne. Just straightforward, simple cards, perfect for coffee and card. And our lovely Tracy has just joined us. She runs coffee and card as well over in Wiltshire, in Calm. So if anybody's up that area, do reach out and contact her. So let's pop this one in just here. So this is on the inside of the card, like so. So I'm not going to colour that in because I know it will go through to the back on this card. But there we go. And while I'm here, I'll stamp the envelope. And then while I have my coffee, I will colour those envelopes in. There we go. Just a nice finishing touch. Obviously not ideal when it's pouring with rain, because otherwise your recipient might get a bit of a soggy mess. The blends pens will be alright, but the ink might run. So there's our finished card here on the right and here on the left. So I will colour in the envelopes just to finish those off. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to make my coffee and then hop on live in our Gemini class VIP group, so that's for any of my customers, to see this month's card class. and then I'll probably pop on live on Gemini Crafts later to show everybody those cards. Okay, Cassie is calling, as you can hear. She's ready to go out. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you like our simple finished cards, 2 for 1. So you could do that with any die shape. So I say I've used ovals, which sadly have retired, but we have some exciting new shapes coming up, new punches. So don't despair. Thank you, everybody. Need to put my glasses on to see who's still with us. Thank you for your lovely comments. Thanks, Joanne, Tracy, Brenda, Kerry, who's been and gone and come back again. Jeanette, I think, has gone. And anybody else who's watching but who hasn't said hi. Thank you so much, everybody. Do take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope it's nice and sunny for you. And you get to see some nice bright daffodils. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.